Welcome to episode number 69 of the River City Hardball podcast, the place to talk baseball in Jacksonville, made possible by our friends at 925 Partners Insurance and Collins Builders. And let's talk JU baseball right now with the head coach, Chris Hayes, and one of his standout pitchers, Tyler Santana, this week named the ASUN Pitcher of the Week. Chris, great to have you back with us, man. How are you?
Doing great, man. Right in the middle of the season. We're just about to break open the conference play, and man, I can't wait to get back on the field Friday night.
You guys open up the conference play with UNF coming up on Friday. We'll certainly get to that, but let's welcome in Tyler Santana, the right-hander, redshirt senior for the Dolphins. Tyler, man, this was pretty cool for you, coming off of a first career complete game in college, matched a career high with 10 strikeouts against UCF on Friday. Take us back to that performance, Tyler. What was going through your body? What was going through your mind, man? That was a great performance for you.
At first, I got a little nervous. I was telling Coach Edwards before the game, my bullpen wasn't very good. But he was like, you know what, those sometimes are the best ones. So he's just like, take it one pitch at a time. And I didn't really start off the game too well. I didn't really feel too great. I had to work out of a couple jams at first, but luckily I got stronger as the game went on.
When you say, Tyler, that your bullpen wasn't that great, what was off for you and what changed?
I didn't really have command for my breaking pitch or my slider or my curveball. It wasn't breaking the right way. It wasn't putting it in a good spot. But luckily I was able to just command my fastball early in the game. And then I found it, I want to say like in the third or the fourth inning, I was able to start throwing it.
Chris, did you know his bullpen wasn't as sharp as he wanted it to be? And going into that start, how do you think he performed there?
Well, I thought he performed, outstanding. It's as good as he's been over a long period of time in a Dolphin uniform. He's had some really, really good outings, and Tyler's been a jack of all trades for us. He started out in the bullpen as a freshman and was a member of the ASUN All Freshman team, and eventually worked his way into a starting role in the middle of his sophomore year and was dominant. And he's been in that starting role, whether it's been Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, throughout his entire career. So he's had a lot of opportunity and a lot of chances to really, really do good things for us. And then last Friday was as good as it's been. And I try not to get too mired in the details of how the bullpen was prior to the game. It's kind of like infield, outfield for the position guys. You know, it's not truly a reflection on how the game is going to go. It's more of just what it takes to get you ready. And it's a credit to Tyler that he's mature enough to be able to work his way through a negative situation at the start of the game and finish as strong as I've ever seen him.
Tyler, I think we're seeing fewer and fewer complete games across the sport in baseball. You see in the major league level, managers just like to change up things with relievers and specialty kind of guys. But, take me through pitching your first complete game in college, and what was that like?
I want to say I think I got into the ninth inning my junior year one game, and I ended up giving like a home run late in the game, and I got taken out. But I've always been just a guy that gets stronger as the game goes on. I always have like a shaky either first or second inning, I would want to say, and then I'm able to just work off that. And I don't know why it is or how it happens, but I've always just been that way. But last Friday, I was just focused on getting back in the dugout quick. We faced a pretty good arm, and I was just trying to go head-to-head and match him. Whatever he did, I had to go out there and do a little bit better.
Tyler, when you're going through a game and you're getting to that ninth inning, are you thinking about, where's my pitch count at? Where am I at on any of that kind of stuff? Or are you just trying to get through it? What was your mindset there?
I knew my pitch count was pretty high just because I had to work out of a couple jams early. But once I got past the seventh, I thought I wasn't even going to go out for the seventh. But once I got out for the seventh, I was just like, I got to get out of here quick. And once I got to the ninth, I was like, it's time to finish.
Chris, take me through that process of, did you think about, well, maybe I'll have to pull him here? Do you think what was your mindset there?
Well, Coach Edwards and I, our pitching coach, collaborate and talk a lot throughout the game and just try to get a feel for what we're thinking, try to forecast. And in the middle of the game, it did not look like he was going to be able to go very much longer. And he kind of dropped it into another gear and really was efficient with 3 pitches. He had 3 pitch command, extremely efficient. He got their hitters in swing mode. It's a 2-1 ball game on Friday night. Temperature was amazing. I mean, it's 70 degrees, and he continued to get stronger. And we watched the velocity, we watched the location, we pay attention to pitch count, and it's not just pitch count. It's kind of a measure of all 3 or all 4, even how he's behaving. What's his body language like? How the hitter's reacting. So, he had a couple of quick innings, 6, 7. 7 pitch, 8 pitch innings that got him through, and we were able to put together some offense late in the game. And it was never, once we got through the 7th, it was almost like it was not a doubt this guy's going to finish this game. At least we're going to give him that opportunity. Now, we had the bullpen ready, and he was a pitch away from being out of there, and that's just the way it goes when you're going late in the game in a 2-1 ball game. But the bullpen was ready and hot to take care of him if he did have a misstep, but he did not have a misstep. And the pitch count was not too high. I mean, it was a little bit high for us on average, but because he is who he is, the work ethic he puts in, the training he puts in, he's as strong a guy as we have on our staff. He could handle it, and he took advantage of the opportunity.
Tyler, you matched a career high with 10 strikeouts in that game. What was working so well for you? And tell us about your pitch mix. Coach Hayes was telling us about, having command of a couple of pitches there.
So what was working was my slider. I think I had like 9 out of the 10 with my slider on Friday. That's honestly been the pitch that's evolved for me the most because it matches well with my 2-seam that I throw. I mixed in a changeup and I started throwing a curveball over the quarantine. I learned it with one of my good friends that plays pro ball. But yeah, just the slider has been like the pitch that's made this year be the way it is so far. I got to continue working, obviously, though. I can't ever be complacent, but so far so good, honestly.
9 of the 10 strikeouts, Chris, on the slider. Tell me about that slider for Tyler.
Oh, it's command of it. He keeps it below the zone. He starts it in the zone and goes below the zone. It truly is a swing and miss pitch. But he's also got enough command for it that he can throw it for a strike when he wants to. And that's the biggest thing. And it does, like he said, it matches up really well with his 2-seamer. And the change for him is a pitch that keeps right and left-handers honest. So it's not as simple as just fastball slider with Tyler. It's if he, and he drops the occasional curveball that is a little bit, slower of a pitch. It's got a little bit different tilt to it. The change starts in the zone, goes below the zone. It's a really good repertoire of pitches that he has. And again, it's between Tyler's work, his coordination with Coach Edwards, our pitching coach, and the time that he's put in and the way he works. He's earned this opportunity, and he's earned he's earned the right to throw on Friday night, and he's done a great job for us.
2-seam fastball, Chris, is a little bit old school. I love seeing the 2-seamer. I look at guys like these days. Aaron Nola throws a terrific 2-seam fastball for the Phillies, and obviously you go back to Greg Maddux and those guys that could really throw it, and that pitch that'll back up on you. I mean, what do you think about the 2-seamer?
Well, it's what it can do for you is it can make right-handers extremely uncomfortable. It makes the left-handers have to stay on the ball a little bit longer when you're facing a left-handed hitter. But then it also allows for some quick innings. If you can stay off the barrel, and get you some ground balls, and we're going to play defense. We're going to be able to catch the ball behind you. It allows for a 7-8 pitch inning where it gets you later in the game. Strikeouts can be laborious. I mean, they can be really hard, and they can really drive pitch count up and shorten your outing, even though, that dude's walking back to the dugout. But man, I sure would like to see 5 pitches and 3 guys walking back from first base than 12 pitches and 3 guys walking back to the dugout. And it gets you later in the game, and that's really for him. The strikeouts are there when he needs them. But man, being able to get a quick out on a 2-seam and staying off the barrel and letting your defense do the work allows you to get a lot deeper in the game.
Tyler Santana, Chris Hayes with us from Jacksonville University. The Dolphins begin conference play in the ASUN against their crosstown rival UNF on Friday night. Tyler, you lead the conference right now in strikeouts with 38. That's very impressive stuff. And I want to go back to a few weeks ago. You guys won a huge game at the University of Florida, and you were the winning pitcher that night, 6 2/3. 5 strikeouts in that game. Tyler, take me back to that win against Florida. What was that like?
Honestly, it was huge. It was an amazing atmosphere. It was the first time that we've ever seen the new ballpark. It was cool. It was really cool to play there. And it was honestly one of the best games we've ever played. We were fighting and clawing for every run. We went up big. There in the 8th, we were up by like 5, and then they made a push, but luckily we were able to come out of there. My roommate Jagger was able to come in and shut the door, and it was great.
Chris, reflect back on that game against Florida. That was a huge win for your program.
Yeah, I mean, we played well. Super competitive environment. We had a really good weekend. I mean, we had one bad half inning that really skewed the Saturday game. But other than that, the entire weekend, man, really competitive environment. And, I mean, that's a great, extremely talented, well-run program over there in Gainesville. And for us to be able to get out of there with a win on Friday night and have a chance to win the series on Saturday and Sunday was huge for our guys. Boosted confidence for them. And especially to have a lead, and then they made a push. They did. Like Tyler said, they made a push, and we made some bad pitches, and they took advantage of them in the 9th, and it got interesting. But we were able to shut the door and finish that game off. And, you know, it was good for our guys. I was happy for our players, happy for our fans and everybody that's a part of our program. You know, but I sure would have liked to finish that weekend off, you know, come home with a series win instead of just winning on Friday night.
Well, you guys have another opportunity in front of yourselves on Friday night. You welcome in the UNF Ospreys, a 3-game set beginning Friday at 7 o'clock, Coach.
Very familiar with them, man. I look forward to it, and Coach Parrington does a great job and his staff. You know, they just came off a big win. They went down to Tampa last night and beat USF, and you know, which is playing really well. And you know, they've had just like us. I mean, you look at the numbers and you look at the records and you're looking up and you're like, man, both those programs are struggling a little bit. I'm not going to say these programs are struggling. We're playing a really difficult schedule. I mean, you look at who they've played, you look at who we've played. Man, it's been some tough environments and teams that play really well at home. You know, and for us we're going to be battle tested. I can tell you that. You know, and at the end of the year, especially this year in 2021 in this COVID era, that we're living through, you know, there's going to be some very modest records, very modest numbers at the end of the year. But boy, there's going to be some really good baseball played by the end of the year. I can tell you that, because this one's going to be fun this weekend. I mean, familiarity with them. They're going to be familiar with us. Little bit different styles of baseball, but we match up really well together, and it's always a fun environment playing those guys.
Tyler, as we let you guys go, tell me about this group of guys, your teammates, because, you know, one of the things that people don't think about a lot of times when you go a complete game, it's not just you, man. That's the rest of the guys behind you. That's the defense performing. Tell me about this group of guys, Tyler, your teammates on this JU team.
Well, to start off, the pitching staff honestly has been great. We have a couple of older guys and a couple of new guys. Honestly, one of my huge supporters whenever I'm pitching is Mike Casala. He's been here since the year before I was here. But we've always been super close, and we've always pushed for each other and helped each other whatever way we can. And honestly, we've tried to push that onto the younger kids now, because obviously we won't be here much longer. But we try to keep that tradition and that trend going for them so that they can continue that. And as for the position players, we obviously have a good amount of older position guys, and we've mixed in the 2 freshmen that have played almost every game, Pacheco and Grabsky. And they've done a good job, honestly. But for the most part, it's a good team. We've had a lot of fun playing, and I can't wait to see us start getting rolling here soon whenever the conference starts.
Yeah, and I feel like you guys certainly have an opportunity to do that. Coach, you got a good group this year, don't you?
Man, I'm proud of them. I love these guys. It's been tough. It's been a tough year. I mean, it's been tough for everybody. You know, going through the fall was different for us. I mean, as everybody in the country. For us, one of the strengths of our program is the camaraderie and the relationships that we have together. And going through and navigating this COVID experience in the fall and early in the spring did not exactly put us in a situation to leverage that and to really work on that, because we've got to stay apart. We've got to have Zoom calls, and we've got to stay distant from each other, and we don't have access to the locker room, and there's a lot of nuances that we utilize, throughout the year that really gets us closer. And this group hasn't had that experience that some of the previous groups have had. And I think we're starting to feel that chemistry coming together now, because now that we've gotten to the spring and we've gotten into the regular season, it's getting more and more, it's approaching normal baseball again, and it's approaching normal life again. I mean, we're testing 3-4 times a week. We continue to successfully fail these tests, which is outstanding. We're not testing positive, so I'll knock on wood there and just make sure that we can continue down that trend. But we just continue to stay on the field, and but having the opportunity to get together and to get in the locker room and to get on the bus and to go on road trips and really get to know each other and spend the time together that we do really enhances what we do extremely well. And I wouldn't be surprised if this group catches fire here soon, because you've seen some really, really good baseball being played. And the biggest thing is, can we do it every day? And that's going to be the challenge for us the rest of the season.
JU Dolphins head coach Chris Hayes and standout pitcher, redshirt senior right-hander Tyler Santana this week on Monday named the ASUN Pitcher of the Week after his complete game 10 strikeout performance against UCF on Friday. Guys, thanks so much for the time. And Chris, best of luck moving forward. I think you guys are going to catch fire here pretty soon.
I hope so, man. I appreciate you, Gibby.